Hello everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. This is a toast to my top 10 books of the year. So let's get into these books. So we are going to be going from 10 to 1. Some of these books on here are either a series or in a series, so we will just cross that bridge when we get there. So in 10th place, we have Warriors by Aaron Hunter. Okay, this is the first arc in the series, the first set of 4 books. Or no, first set of 6 books. That's my bad. If you guys are unaware or have never heard of these books, these are children's books that were popular in like the 90s or 2000s or something, and they're still pushing them girls out today. Okay, so let me tell you what this book series is about, because I did not expect to like it as much as I did. So for generations there has been 4 clans of wildcats in the forest. Okay, however, ThunderClan, things are not looking too good for ThunderClan at the time, as Shadow Clan grows stronger, okay, until this one day a house cat named Rusty shows up, and the leader of ThunderClan is like, we'll give you an option to either join us or not. This is in the midst of turmoil, and he has to decide whether he wants to be a warrior or if he wants to remain a house cat. He may even turn out to be the bravest warrior of them all. Okay, it sounds kind of silly. However, from the start to the finish of this arc, I was engaged. I was like literally sat the whole time. I think the only time that I was a little bit even bored was book 3, and that's like directly in the middle of the series, so it's like you gotta be action after action after action to keep me invested, I feel. But like, there was a villain in the story who, like, I never thought that I would have beef with a cat. I guess there's a new time for everything. And I ended up picking up this book because it was my wife's childhood fave, and all of a sudden she was like, hey, I really want to reread these books. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. Did not disappoint. So if you guys are invested in, if you guys are cat people, love a good mystery, like to read easy to read children's books, I highly suggest this. 9th place book is very much a surprise to me and probably to you. I made a video about this book discussing the plot in depth, and that is New Moon. Am I a little bit embarrassed to call this in my top 10? Just a little bit, just a little bit. So if you guys are unaware of what this book is about, I'm not gonna go too much into it because I did make a whole video, which you can check that out right here if you are interested. Full summary, deep dive, full thoughts, everything. I go over everything. Every page in this book I discuss. So let me just be a little bit vague. So being in love with a vampire is dangerous. When Edward leaves to protect Bella, she grows closer to Jacob. And we go through Bella being depressed and then Bella trying to get out of her funk and everything. This was so good. Like, I don't know, like, why? This was action-packed. There was never a dull moment. I think I finished this in like a day and a half, which is crazy. And then I ranted for an hour about it on the internet for everyone to see. So check that out if you are interested. 8th best book. Wow. The 8th best book that I have read this year is a friend recommendation. I did a collab video with Mary from the Pumpkin Files, previously known as Books with Avocado. This is called Just Like a Mother by Anne Hetzel. And this is a little bit complicated of a plot. Last time Maeve saw her cousin Andrea was like 20-ish years ago when they escaped from her cult, from the cult that they were raised in. Hello. And today, Andrea reappears and reclusive Maeve starts spending more time with her at Andrea's estate, okay? And we find out that Andrea sells these creepy AI babies to help grieving mothers move on from the children that they have lost. That part's not creepy. The creepy part is the AI babies, like, kind of ew to me. So there's a whole bunch of like strange things going on that's making Andrea remember her past that she had tried to bury. And this book is creepy AF. It is a little bit triggering and it pissed me off bad, like bad. The end did. But I know that's not a really popular opinion. A lot of people love the end and that's why they rated the book 5 stars. Me, however, rated it 4 stars because I wanted to be different so literally so bad. But yeah, you guys should definitely check out this book if you're interested in like any type of cult vibes. The 7th best book that I have read this year. I can't believe I read these 2 books this year. It's like they feel so far away. So the 7th best book that I read this year is The Bandit Queens by Parini Sharoff. This one is a banger that I read with the Women's Wrong Support Group. That is my book club on Fable. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to do that. We have fun over there. We read so many good books. We support women's rights and wrongs, etc. What more do you need? Geeta's no good husband disappeared 5 years ago and she did not kill him. Okay, just get that out there. Everyone thinks that she did, of course. She becomes known as the self-made widow, which has its perks for her jewelry business. Miserable wives start coming to her with asking for favors so they can kill their husbands as well. But she's like, but I didn't kill him though. Some of these miserable wives have even resorted to blackmailing Geeta for her help. Geeta has to decide how to deal with this because it's giving double-edged sword. But this is so much fun. This is such a fun book. I love the friendship element in this, even though it was kind of like forced, but it was forced for the story. It was not forced in the sense that the author was trying to force 2 characters to become friends that clearly do not match. It was more like the characters were giving forced. I feel like that makes sense. Like, it made sense with the story. And this is one of those books that the characters keep digging themselves into a hole and you're like, okay, let's go back to point A. And now how do we get over here? Like, how do we get over here? I don't understand. But like, you do understand. It's just kind of funny how we kept getting ourselves into these sticky situations. It's like, how do we even get here in the first place? I don't know. Lost track. And the character growth is amazing. I don't know. You guys should really check out this book. I feel like I want to reread this book already. Number 6 was a buddy read. Number 6 and number 5 I actually read together. Not like together, but back to back. And it's crazy how similar these books are because the plot is not the same at all. However, these both are, she did nothing wrong, but like she kind of did, but she didn't. Women's Wrong Support Group coded, okay? And this is going to be Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. I buddy read this with Maddie from As Told by Maddie here on YouTube. We did not film a video together. I was about to plug that, however, we ended up not doing that. Great book, amazing. It's there. Check the trigger warnings literally for sure for this one. because it's very dark and gritty and gross. Like, not gross in the sense of horror, but just gross in the sense of like the character is a very much of an icky person. Irina expresses her art by taking explicit photos of average looking men that she persuades to model for her from the streets of Newcastle. It's more of a character study than a plot centered book. It's very much about Irina and how she's giving very much sociopath, and also her best friend writes a secret blog about her, and she's secretly in love with her even though she has a boyfriend. Irene doesn't have a boyfriend, but the best friend has a boyfriend who is secretly in love with Irina, and all she does is complain on the internet. But what's new? I was hooked from start to finish of this book. I don't know if you guys were on Tumblr in 2014 or if you were on like Tumblr grunge, 90s grungeist Tumblr, but this has the most 2014 Tumblr grunge vibes. Like, oh my god, like this makes me so nostalgic for the life that I didn't have in 2014, but I guess the life that I scrolled in 2014 is what this makes me nostalgic to, because it just, like, that's probably a part of the reason why I love this book so much, is because it's giving so much grunge. I'll put photos here so you guys understand the vibes. It's just like, it's giving ripped jeans with fishnets underneath, and then black chipped fingernail polish with a cigarette, and then one of those Vans that are like black and white, and then the picture is just of someone like taking a picture, like this is the phone and this is the picture. That's this book. Okay, great book, amazing book. You guys should read it if you want. Check the trigger warnings if you do decide to read it though. Oh, and so we're gonna talk about book 5 now. Book 5 was weirdly similar to Boy Parts, book 6, which, literally how, but if you read these both, you will understand, and I highly suggest you reading them side by side. So this is gonna be Chlorine by Jade Song. I freaking love this book. I would love to see an A24 adaptation of this. And I also read this with the Women's Wrong support group, so yeah, we do have some bangers there. Okay, so Ren always believed that she was a mermaid ever since she started swimming at the age of 3. And this is a coming of age story. Okay, I decided that I didn't want to tell you guys any more than that. Of course, I'm gonna say check the trigger warnings again for this book, because it's a coming of age story. It's dark, it's messy, and I would love to say that there was one part of the story that I didn't like that much because it was from a different perspective than what we needed as the audience. Okay, so I'm still pissed off about that if you can't tell. So I can't really say without spoiling it, that particular part, and that part is like the meat of the story, so you'll just have to see that. For the ending, however, I did kind of like the ending too. Like, I don't know, like I don't know, now I'm talking too much. Chlorine, book number 5. Please let me know if you've read this book. So here's where we go to kind of like, all of these books are a little bit running together for their places. So number 4 is gonna be Late Bloomer by Maisie Dennings. And this is kind of silly. This is a kind of a silly plot that probably would not actually happen in real life, but it was still giving very much realistic, yes. And I read this with the second book club that I have. It's a romance book club with Maddie from Maddie's Bookish Life. Our club is called Accidentally Yours if you're interested in Fable, okay? I just have to say that. So, this book is about Opal, who is stuck. She feels stuck. She's in her late 20s. She's working at an ice cream shop. She's literally, we open up the book, her dressed up as the ice cream mascot, dancing on the side of the road. And she wins the lottery. And so on this crappy day, what could be better? Literally. So she ends up buying a farm from this lady who had posted it on Zillow or something like that in the book. And so then she goes to the farm that she just bought with her a lotto money, and she finds Pepper, who is still living there. This is her grandma's farm, and she is like, this is my house, like, what are you doing here? And so being the kind of the pushovery super nice person that Opal is, she lets her stay there, though she has the deed to the farm and she doesn't kick her out or whatever. And they start growing closer together. As you can tell, this is a romance. They're an unlikely pair. However, I love the way that they just fit together. I love everything about this book. I love the topic of this book. Opal is hilarious. I love Opal's sisters and everything. I feel like the author could do one of those series where each sister has a book, and I love that. There's autistic representation and also ADHD representation. Pepper's autistic, Opal is ADHD. She is ADHD. She's the letters, right? The way that they balance each other out is so beautiful because they're so different, yet they go so well together. It's like the perfect balance. Pepper is too closed off and Opal is too outgoing, too much of a pushover, and they kind of blend so well together. It's like speaks to me so much. So this book has a special place in my heart, especially because how close Pepper was to her grandmother. I feel that with my great-grandmother who passed away, and her grief, I understand so hard. And my third book is it's giving basic. It's giving, that's fine, basic for a reason. And it's gonna be a Funny Story by Emily Henry. Why was I about to say Emily Henry by Funny Story? What kind of sense does that even make? Daphne is engaged to Peter. Miles has been in a years-long relationship with Petra. Peter and Petra, not pictured, have been best friends for literally forever. And so, on the night of Peter's bachelor party for him and Daphne's wedding, Peter cheats on Daphne. Not all the way, they just decide that they have feelings with each other. With Petra and Peter decide they have feelings for each other, and they break up with their fiance and boyfriend, okay? And then Daphne goes to Miles and is like, yo, I need like a place to live. So Daphne moves in to Miles' spare room. Okay, please tell me you guys are following because that was a lot. And then one day in the mail, they get an invitation to Peter and Petra's wedding. What the hell? That leads them to the brilliant idea that they're gonna fake date, show up at the wedding as a couple, whatever. So they snap a picture, post it on Instagram, etc. Okay. And I love this because I love how comfortable Miles made Daphne, and when they spent time together, it was just so great. You could see her coming out of her shell, and he put all of his salty feelings aside, kind of, to make her feel more comfortable with the town. And this was just so beautiful. I love these two characters together, even though a lot of people say that these two characters don't go well together. I very much disagree with that statement, okay? And then another person that I really loved from this book was Daphne's friend named Ashley. She and Ashley work together in the library, and Ashley is hilarious. She's I think she's like 28 or 29-year-old. She's a mom, and her son's name is Mulder. If you know anything about me, I love the X-Files. And this book also mentions the Golden Girls. With those are two of my 5 favorite shows of all time, okay? So this book was literally written for me. There was a lot of the parental relationships I really felt, and it was really painful for me to read about, because it was just like Emily Henry went inside my brain and was like, how do I get to sell more books? Let me go individually to make her buy this book in her brain and write her whole life freaking story, okay? My second to last favorite book, so book 2, is The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, okay? Kirsty. I think it's Kirsty Greenwood. Either way, she slayed. So, Delphi dies choking on this nasty, crusty, dusty cheeseburger that she heated up literally in the microwave. And she goes to the afterlife. While she was in the afterlife, she meets someone she has a deep connection with who could be her possible soulmate. However, he was not supposed to die yet, so the afterlife secretary person sent him back to Earth because it was not his time to die, okay? And then Delphi makes a deal with her. The deal is basically that Delphi needs to get this man to kiss her. However, he will not remember her once they're back on Earth, and she doesn't know pretty much like anything about him. So, good luck, Delphi, good luck. And so we're just following her, and this has to be in like 7 days, I think. And so it's just, this book is just so funny. It gives very much the Good Place vibes, though most of the story takes place on Earth versus the afterlife or whatever. It's just, this book made me cry, this book made me laugh, and when a book can do both of those things in one singular book, it gets a 5-star, it gets on the fave list, everything. You just have to read it. I don't know. And then there was this twist at the end that I was like, now why didn't I see that coming? Are you guys ready? Cheers. My top favorite book. So, my top favorite book of the year, number 1, The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. Hello, it kind of goes together. Not really. Their dynamic in this book reminds me of Agatha and Rio from Agatha All Along. This book is kind of a little bit complicated in what's going on with it. So I'll just read from here. It's a Snow White and Anne Boleyn inspired witchy fairy tale retelling of the evil queen from Snow White. Okay, immediately, that's all you need to know that this is a good book. Okay. Aelith fears she's not the witch that her coven needs and journeys to the White Castle to retrieve something stolen from the witches long ago. Along the way, she runs into her ex, Jaquetta, who she has to work with to not expose themselves, since it's illegal to be a witch. And they're going to the most dangerous place for witches, okay? So this is eerie and atmospheric. I felt like I was in this world traveling with them to the White Castle. I could see the trees, I could see the crows cawing. Yeah, it was just, and I felt how chilly it was in the air. And also I kind of read this near Halloween time, and I feel like that was the very correct choice. I love the Aelith and Jaquetta's dynamic in this. Okay, they're exes. I never read a story. It's not really a romance at all, so I can't really say second chance romance, but I haven't read a story between two exes that are forced to work together or else they'll literally die. So it really worked for me. So if you guys have any recommendations, please drop them below. People will say that this book drags, but just go in knowing that this is a slow burn, okay? The romance is slow burn, the plot is slow burn, but the payoff to me was worth it. In the end, that final scene was so vivid, and so she did nothing wrong ever in her life, and so she snapped. Like, we love to see it. I want to reread this book already, and it hasn't been that long since I read it, and I cannot wait for the second book. Okay, this is supposed to be a duology. I'm not sure if you guys know really anything about this book, but Heather Walter worked on this book for years and then finally published it. It was like one of the greatest achievements in her life or something. And yeah, this book is beautiful. Though I did not know there was going to be another special edition of there's another special edition of the book where it has sprayed edges and then there's like a mirror and an apple. I wish I waited for that, but I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive for this one. There's not really anything special on it, but I love this book, so it's fine. And also something really cool that doesn't have anything to do with the story was that the author was giving away a signed, annotated ARC copy of this on her Instagram, and I won. That makes me so happy. And so it was annotated by the author, which made it so special to read, and then I was able to get it signed. So yeah, a special place in my heart for sure. Maybe that did have something to do with the reason why I love this story so much, but I feel like if I just read this without all of this, it would still be my favorite book of the year. So if you guys have made it this far, I would love it if you were to leave the clinking champagne glass emoji for a toast to my top 10 favorite books of the year. And if you are not subscribed, make sure that you please subscribe. Please. And if you like this video, go ahead and give this video a like. And thank you for watching. Alright, that's the end of the book portion, and now we will be going on to the rant portion. So if you are not sticking around for the rant portion, then bye, see you guys next time. Alright, I think that they're gone if you guys were here for the book portion only. Okay, so now that it's just family, if I look like I'm struggling, don't worry about it. I'm fine. I had to take a break for a while because there was just too much going on in my life. I was not able to upload this video sooner, and I did originally film this video once. However, I had to refilm it because the way that I was talking was not in cohesive sentences, okay? So it would not be a great thing for me to edit, so I decided to redo it. And you guys, don't worry, the roast is coming. The roast will be here soon, okay? Chill, okay? It's coming, don't worry. I'm hoping it's good. I didn't have the best reading year this year, but maybe I'll take that energy into the roast. Yeah, I've missed you guys. I'm sorry that the book club has not really been updated. I'm sorry that the TV club has not really been updated. I was forced to take a break, though I really didn't want to. I had so many content ideas for the end of 2024. However, I was forced to put them aside because of life, not because of like anything specific. My health is fine, all of that. It's just a lot. And anyways, this video is on my new phone, so I hope you guys like it. Also, I rearranged my room, so that's why I'm in a different filming location. So I hope you guys like that as well. I hope that the quality is better. I have a new mic coming in, so hopefully the audio on this video isn't too terrible. Yeah, so I hope you guys have had an amazing year so far, and I really hope that this is going to be the best book. This is going to be the best book for you this year, right? No, this is going to be the best year yet for you guys. And I'm going to go now because I'm on lunch break, and so bye.